I look a mess. I feel a mess. Let's talk about Captain Marvel. Hey there, it's Blaze here. I'm still kind of feeling under the weather, but healthy enough to make this review for you guys because I've been wanting to make a movie review since the very beginning, since I've started my channel. So let's get into this bad boy. So Captain Marvel made its official release into theaters about 2 weeks ago, and the crowd reactions have either been hit or miss. I'll refrain from singing the song. But either you love the movie for a certain furry friend, or you hate it because of all its flaws that the movie has. Now, I could see it being played both ways, but my job here isn't to tell you whether or not you like the movie, but whether or not you think it's worth seeing based off of my experience. Now, with Endgame hurtling towards us faster than we can even register, the MCU decided to throw us a little bone and give us Captain Marvel. Not to, help them in the war that is to come, but to finish what they've started. They've been very clear about that in the trailer. The film stars Brie Larson as our empowered female, with directors like Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck to help guide us into this action-packed adventure of Captain Marvel. Now, let me just start off by saying that this is a feminist movie with a feminist agenda. So if you feel any certain undertones of feminine pride and whatnot, that's the whole point of the movie. The film introduces us into this fish out of water concept where you have your protagonist set in this unfamiliar setting, which is what you think for the first 30 minutes of the film, and then it completely shifts. One of the main problems with the film is that it seems like it doesn't really know what it wants to be, and there are several tonal shifts throughout. Every movie should have at least 3 acts where you have a beginning, middle, and end, and every time an act starts, it just keeps starting over, which makes it feel like there are 3 different movies that you're watching. Every act is just a new beginning. So the film starts out where we're in this Kree civilization, and apparently Captain Marvel is Kree, which in this universe is defined as the Guardians of the Galaxy that predates the Guardians of the Galaxy. But as the film likes to portray and harp on, she's different from the others. She's not like other girls, or in this case, the Kree. She seems to be the only one with powers while everybody else has weapons and guns. Her mentor is Jude Law, which I don't know how I feel about his character at all in the film. You know what? I don't like the character. I don't like his character. And then we have the bad boy antagonists, which are the Skrull, who are able to shape-shift into anyone as long as they've seen them. The main Skrull is played by Ben Mendelsohn, and I liked him in Rogue One, and I like him here. He's a pretty comedic character within the film, and every time he's on screen, I enjoy it. Now, supposedly the Kree and the Skrull hate one another, but the reason why, I don't know why. If the film doesn't tell you, and you probably won't know, other than the fact that they're just inherently evil or inherently good. But the M. Night Shyamalan twist here is that the good guys are actually the bad guys, and the bad guys are actually the good guys. Yeah, I really like the twist, mainly because in the comics, the Kree are definitely depicted as this godlike, beings that are here to save everyone. They're the saviors, and the Skrull are just really bad people. In Act 1, Captain Marvel is depicted as this spunky character that you see in fan fictions. She's mouthing off to authority figures and also cracking jokes in serious moments. She's snarky. And I don't know if I really like that. It just comes off as forced to me personally. And although she's portrayed as a very strong character throughout the film, it just shows that she has no vulnerabilities and is emotionally unavailable. Pure snarky attitude. I'm here to bash everybody's head in. That's it. That's my purpose. Which, being the targeted audience, I feel no connection or relatability to this character. To me, she's just a character that's on screen and I'm just watching her life unfold. There's no connection between the audience and this character. Even her existence as Captain Marvel doesn't really add up. There's this part in the movie where she gets blown up by this engine because she needs to destroy it, and then all of a sudden she just absorbs the blast, which, okay, what makes her different from anyone else that could have shot the engine and absorbed why is she able to absorb the blast? There's this moment in the film where she goes to this crystal palace sort of realm or whatever, and then she sees this dead person that she's supposed to care about apparently, and it just reminded me a lot of this Fortress of Solitude in Superman, which leads to this whole new journey of self-discovery. At one point in the film, Captain Marvel gets captured by the Skrulls after a space expedition had gone wrong, which I honestly don't even know why they were on that planet in the first place, other than the fact that they were just there to kill some Skrulls. So the Skrulls have her in captivity, and as they're probing her memories for this lady who's called Marvel, and she has some sort of connection to the Tesseract, which becomes important, but they're not probing Veers' memory, which is what she's referred to in the Kree community. They're probing the memories of Carol Danvers. At that point in the film, I was like, how long is this? Because it's just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of memories. It just feels like you're sitting in a classroom and you're being lectured at rather than engaging with the material. It's just basically expositional vomit being crammed down your throat, okay? The film directors are basically hey, this is what you should know about this character because she's important and she's gonna become important, and you'll see in a minute. Like, what? Okay. You should never ask how long a movie's going to take or anything relative to time, which don't even try with this movie. Case in point, S.H.I.E.L.D. Apparently they were selling merch before they were even an established government agency, but you know, I guess you gotta promo and make money somehow. And as I said previously, the Tesseract makes an appearance and becomes like an important item throughout the film. My friends and I were still trying to plot the timeline right out of the theater of where the Tesseract has been all this time and like how it's traveled from Fury's hands all the way to, well, Thanos's. Ronan also makes a cameo, as well as Stan Lee, which I did like the Stan Lee tribute in the beginning, as well as the little scene where Captain Marvel, like, she's on the subway and she's looking for like a scroll and she like flips down the newspaper. It's a little moment. I like that. The fight scenes in this movie were really underwhelming and as CGI'd as Age of Ultron, and even certain scenes in Thor Ragnarok. But I give it a pass mainly because there's a 30-year gap and apparently she gets better. I think the only fight scene that I truly enjoyed was when she was held captive by the Skrulls and her hands were constricted. And then we get some 90s fan service, which you don't have to be a 90s kid to get. I mean, you just gotta have good parents and some broad choice of music. This is around the time when Captain Marvel takes a splash dive into a blockbuster movie store. Fury rolls up in his Impala SS from 1995 and he's with my boy Coulson in the navigator seat. It was great. It was a great moment. But suddenly it turns into a blank slate for any 90s buddy cop movie. I'm not gonna lie and say that I didn't enjoy this whole buddy cop feel. It was probably the best part in the movie, mainly because it reminded me a lot of like Beverly Hills Cop and also Rush Hour, which in certain scenes it does seem rushed. But the banter between Carol Danvers and Nick Fury is absolutely fantastic and I enjoyed their chemistry. I find a lot of movies where there's like, you know, really strong chemistry between two actors. It's always a good film for me. But yeah, you could definitely tell that they were friends on screen as well as they were off screen. Unlike the other characters that they try to force Brie Larson to have like some sort of connection with, she has this best friend named Rambo, who she's known apparently since the 3rd grade. And every encounter with her and her daughter, it just comes off as very awkward and very stiff. And speaking of Rambo's daughter, definitely think she is Ironheart, but the relationship between Captain Marvel and her supposed best friend that she's known since 3rd grade is less believable than a man she's met in like the span of one day. Let me just address the whole Goose situation. I'm not gonna lie to you, the people that love Goose are definitely cat people and the people that don't aren't. But I do have some friends that are dog people and they loved Goose the character, and I own 2 cats, so I liked Goose until oh my god, I can't even like say it because it's so stupid. I liked Goose until this little alien cat tentacled creature decided, you know what, let me just claw out Fury's eye and that'll be a story to tell. Not 20 minutes before the movie started, I turned to my friend and I joked to him, hey, wouldn't it be funny if like Fury lost his eye to a cat? I didn't think it was actually gonna happen. No, it happened. It's a real thing. So my thoughts on this movie is sort of conflicting. Yes, there are scenes that I liked, but if you look at it as a whole, it falls very flat and short of the things that you expect of a Marvel movie. And it's honestly quite disappointing. Like, I would put it at the bottom of Ant-Man and Wasp. And especially since Captain Marvel is a very prominent character in Endgame. She's an important chess piece on the board. And I don't entirely blame the directors of the film. I mean, it's a pretty huge jump to go from small-time indie films to blockbuster superhero films. And I've always wanted to create my own rating system. It still needs a little bit of workshopping, but this is a little rundown on my rating system. We have Godsent, we have Fantastic, we have A Grand Old Time with Friends, then we have Netflix and pay-per-view, then we have The One Night Stand and The Starlight Pit. Now, as I mentioned previously, this film does have good parts, but as a Marvel movie, it does fall flat of your expectations, so which is why I wouldn't watch it without a couple friends by your side, because friends make everything better. I'm hearing a lot of things through the grapevine that Captain Marvel might potentially become the new captain of the Avengers. She's the captain now. No, I don't really see it happening anytime soon. She definitely hasn't earned the name Captain Marvel yet, mainly because Endgame hasn't happened yet, and the Russo brothers, I trust them to add more depth to the character and flesh her out more. But as of now, I feel no attachment to the character. Again, if she died in Endgame, I'd be like, peace. And also the fact that if she's put ahead of everyone else who's definitely earned their place on the team, I'd be pretty upset about it. And the fact that she got a solo movie before Black Widow, who is also an empowered female, they just act like it's a new concept in this movie. And to answer like that whole thing, no. And also, do you need to see this movie because, you know, it's important to Endgame? No, you really don't. What do you guys think of Captain Marvel? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Type down below and I will respond as soon as I can. Also tell me all your theories and inquiries and I'll answer them too. And I'll also go more in depth about my rating system in a later video. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.